Okay, so now it's an absolute pleasure to introduce
and that's where I reside. So I bought a house there about 25 years ago, so I just thought it was just, and these guys don't know my story, but I was when I moved to Great Norris, I set up my accounting practice in St Kilda, and basically why I'm different as an accountant, because actually one of the first things I did when I went to Great Norris, I actually went to a party, and so you know how about midnight you go to a party in a house, and the guys are usually in the kitchen, and the ladies are out in the lounge room. So I was talking to this guy, and he was the biggest hospitality consultant, and he asked me what I do. I said, well, I'm an accountant, I'm in practice, I've been a financial controller, and he said, well, what's an accountant? And he said, what type of clients you got? I said, I've got a few in hospitality, I've got a few in construction, I've got all these people here, I've got clients in different industries, and he said, well, what do you understand about hospitality? The short and curlies of it was I went to his training course, and I'm going to share a couple of thoughts in detail here about what I actually learned. But what I learned was really every cost, there's a story behind every cost, whereas accountants are usually just trained to just react, and the numbers fall out. But really, what's the real story behind the costs of running a business? And then a few years ago, so what I did from there, I tore up timesheets. So you know how you get these accountants, bookkeepers and other advisors, and they said, well, you know, they've done 5 hours, this is what I'm going to bill you. And you don't know. I said, well, Gary, what are you doing? And I asked him a question about, well, if you've got what's your accountant like, Gary? And he said, his accountant just does the job, right? So I followed Gary up, and that's the result. So I'll share about how so he's effectively, accounting costs the next 10 years is effectively zero because of the savings we identified in some of his costs. And now I think Gary's, with his continuous improvement on cost savings, the last I heard is we're about $100,000 better in cost because he's really zeroing in on his cost of running his business. It all goes straight to the bottom line, which means that straight to the bottom line means he's got a better lifestyle and also a better position to be able to build up his other assets, so he's not relying 100% on his business for protection. So I'm effectively 2015 says finished, June 15. So all of you guys here, June 15 years finished. So how did you finish up? So this business finished up at $1 million turnover, but the bottom line after tax was 20 grand. So to me, that's not a great result. So what we did, we sort of looked at what's the benchmarks for the industry, and we tweaked them and said, okay, we'll put a plan in place for 2016 based on what the benchmarks are. So, and each one of those was improved. So the bottom line forecast 100,000, which means 10% return on investment. So that's the start. Then 17 will continuously improve because my feeling is, and this is basically after the owner's cost in there, which are a cost. So sometimes here when I'm evaluating business financial statements, I find the business owners working a lot of hours in the business, they're not working much hours, but what's the market rate? What's the real bottom line? And also current year, in the slides coming. So how many, you know, you think it's a good idea to categorise your costs between variable and fixed? And I'm happy to take any questions, because sometimes they're, I've done a lot of training on costs and whatever, what's the difference between a variable cost, fixed cost, controllable, non-controllable. Then you've got discretionary costs, you've got avoidable costs, you've got unavoidable costs. So there's a lot of different costs in running a business, or can be. So let's look at the biggest one, or the couple of biggest items. Cost of sales. Now some here, like myself, are in service industries. So cost of sales is not a real cost. So our biggest cost would be David just touched on discounts, supplier discounts. Or have you reviewed, when was the last time you reviewed your suppliers? Labour. That's one of my like. Than your competitors. I'll just touch on a couple. Owner's remuneration. I find a lot of times here when I've looked at business, the owner is paying themselves a wage, but maybe they don't have to. So when you pay yourself a wage, one client a couple of years ago, they were paying a wage, husband and wife, so we restructured that. So therefore, by reducing that, by paying themselves by loans, drawings, etc., depending on their structure, we reduced their payroll tax by about 10 grand a year. We reduced their work cover. You realise that 5% of accidents and illnesses happen at work. We've got a couple of insurance brokers in the room here, and they spend marketing costs. So David touched on the return on investment you're getting from your marketing, so I won't zero in too much on that. Finance costs. So ours is looking at finance costs there. I find costs, bad debts, bank fees, interest. You know, what are you funding there? Leasing, I touched on tax. How many people here budget on their tax? So you've got GST, you've got income tax, you've got payroll tax, you've got rates. Once again, how many times have you reviewed your professional advisors? Have you got professional advisors that, like people like Gary used to have, who just do the job? Or have you got professional advisors who actually, where you can see more value versus their costs? So you actually get a return on investment. So I'm getting to wind up to some extent. Sorry I can't be here for more, but I know everybody's very keen to get back to work and check on what's going on. If you don't set targets, you know, it's a bit like going out here in your yacht. If you basically just go out there, you end up nowhere. So if you set budgets in line with what profit that you want to achieve out of your business, you that could be the difference between break even and making 100 grand. So if anybody wants a health check on all their costs, I'm very happy to provide that. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you very much, David. Now we've just got, we want to be